Hey everyone, this is Dan and Chase at Adventure Harley-Davidson, the parts and accessories department. We've been talking about comfort and things that can make the ride more comfortable for a rider as well as a passenger. What we're going to do today is really focus on the passenger. We talked about seats. We did a full video on seats, our demo seats, all the different options, or at least some of the different options that we have. We have a lot of different demo seats in our store, so stop in and check those out. But what we really want to focus on today, again, is passenger comfort. And there are a lot of different things that you can do to make a passenger comfortable on a motorcycle. If you're riding two-up, you're doing a lot of two-up riding, especially long distance rides. One of the things that you realize is that the passenger comfort is extremely important. It's fun to be out there riding, but that person that's sitting behind on the bike needs to be comfortable as well. And there are a lot of different options from Harley-Davidson and from the aftermarket as well. So we're going to talk about some of those options today. We won't go through everything, but we're going to go through some of the more popular options and try and answer a few questions that our customers have that we get on a regular basis. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chase to start talking about footboards and some of the options that you have there as well. So yep. Chase?
So just as Dan said, we're going to start talking about some of our footboard and foot peg options. So we're going to start off with the simplest and easy option, which is going to be available for 99% of the models we offer, and that's going to be our mini footboards. So of course a lot of our bikes come stock with pegs on them. You'll find out on longer rides the passengers, the center arch of their feet start to get sore on long rides and so on. So one of the quickest and easiest fixes for that is a set of mini footboards. So these bad boys right here for our models that come equipped with passenger pegs, they're just going to be replacement pegs. Pull the pin or the bolt out, pop these in as a replacement. They're still going to fold up and function no different than the peg, but as you can see it's going to have a lot wider face to it. Now these are going to be available in chrome or black, also in different sizes. So these are the smalls, which is going to be a 3-inch pad, versus the larges, which you can see here's got a little bit of extra material at the bottom, and a 4-inch pad. So these are going to be quick and easy add-ons for you to get a little bit more passenger comfort there and the foot control side of it. But of course, in the ultimate comfort, footboards are going to be what we're getting into. So we're going to start off with our traditional standard footboard option. These are what you're going to see stock on the back of limited models, and so again, it's going to be a quick, easy add-on for you. It's going to be matching to our limited models, maybe our our Softail standards, our touring standard models that don't come with any passenger footboards at all. These right here are going to be the matching add-ons to you. Of course, you would have the ability to add the chrome covers to the back of them and make them a little bit more tasteful to your own personal touch. And speaking of being tasteful and personal touch, our Streamliner footboards. So these are going to be for matching for our Street Glide and Road Glide models, the non-limited, non-ultra models. So they're going to be the bikes that come stock with passenger pegs on them, and a lot of times what you'll see customers do is put a set of these matching footboards on it and then take the pegs and put them up front for highway pegs. But anyways, with the Streamliner boards here, again, these are going to be complete kits available in chrome or black, being that our newer Street Glide and Road Glide models come in a blacked out fashion, of course. These are going to be the Streamliner to match the driver's boards on the bike. So if you're wanting to keep everything in tune and looking nice and stylish, the Streamliner footboard kits are going to be, of course, this quick and easy add-on for you. It's going to keep the bike looking nice. Now, we do have some other options. Unfortunately, things I don't have sitting on the shelf today, but we're going to talk about our auxiliary armatures. So you may be seeing them on bikes or have seen pictures of them before. They're actually the little armatures that's going to mount onto your footboard option, or to your footboard bracket, that is, and then an armature is going to actually be able to rotate in 3 different positions. So again, it's just giving us a little bit more option for the passenger there. All they can do is reach down and pull a little pin, and then that arm will actually rotate to different angles. So again, if you're on a long trip, maybe riding to Sturgis or doing a cross-country trip, and it's one of the things you want to be able to move your legs around and get a little bit of movement out of them and still maintain comfort, of course. So again, it's one of those things where the passenger can adjust themselves and get their foot in a different position. It's going to be much more comfortable for them, and they can kind of bounce around a little bit while, again, we're on that long trip. As well as the adjustable footboard mounts. So it's no different than these guys here as far as where the board mounts, but we're going to have 2 knuckles on the center mount there, and with those, you can adjust the adjust the armature and loosen the bolts to maybe angle the footboards a little bit like this so that the passenger can apply pressure to the board, raise it up, down. Honestly, with you, they're 360 degrees adjustable, so you can pretty well take them anywhere you want. And one other neat little item that Harley came out with years ago was the Reach footboard bracketry. So a lot of times when the passengers are riding on a bike, especially if they're a shorter passenger, the back of their thighs lay against the saddlebag guards. So one easy fix for that is our Reach brackets. So what those are, same brackets as these guys, but they got an S bend in them that's going to raise the bracket 2 1/4 inches. So again, it's mostly for our shorter passengers there whose legs lay against the tops of the saddlebag lids or against the bracketry right there for the saddlebag guards. And it's all about comfort, as we said, so getting your feet up a little bit in those situations is going to make a world's difference for you. But I think that's pretty well it on our footboard options. Of course, if you really scour, there's probably some other things out there that we're not covering, but these are definitely the top dogs in the footboard options.
Okay, so what we're going to talk about next is some of the backrest options that are out there. We're going to focus mostly on the touring bikes because that's what we get the most requests for. The touring bikes since 2009 have used the same attaching hardware, so the uprights that we use fit from 2009 to the new 2022 bikes on the touring models. One of the things that we get from a lot of our customers when they come in, the first thing they do when they buy a touring bike is they want a backrest for the passenger, which makes a lot of sense. We ask the question pretty much every time, do you want one of the standard heights or one of the tall backrests on the bike? And customers kind of look at us like, well, what's the difference? So the difference is this is a standard upright. As you can see, it comes up a few inches from the attaching docking hardware. It's designed to sit just above the top of a standard seat, like what comes on the Street Glide or the Road Glide originally, or a profile style seat. If you have a really thick seat like a touring seat, this may not fit because it may actually hit the top of the rear of the seat. So for the passenger, this really comes up just to the bottom of the lower back, really for a lot of customers just above the rump. So it will hold the passenger on. It doesn't give a lot of back support. For those customers or for those passengers that want some kind of back support, we recommend the taller backrest upright, and we sell the majority of the uprights that we sell are the taller one. This comes up a few inches higher, and for most passengers, it actually hits them in the back and gives them that back support. When there's hard acceleration or the rider accelerates, they don't bend over the back as much. It doesn't put as much pressure on their back. So these come in chrome and black, of course, to match whatever bike setup you have and whatever hardware you have on your bike. Has the detachable hardware, very easy to get on and off the bike. Literally takes about 30 seconds to put one on and take one off. We thought we'd also talk real quick. These are the kits that we use for the Softails and the Dynas and the Sportsters. Little different setup, very similar docking hardware, but you build these out of different pieces. So you buy the plate, the docking hardware, then you get your upright and your pad. So you get different uprights and you can get different pads for these as well. They give you a lot of different options, but it's multiple pieces to build. It's a little more complex when it comes to building one of these uprights for a bike, but we can offer the similar options. These also come in an adjustable. We don't sell a lot of the adjustable, but there is an option on this where you have 3 different positions to change the lean angle of the backrest and the pad. So if you're looking for those options, they're certainly out there. This is one of them that's assembled. There are a lot of different options for the touring bikes when it comes to the backrest pad. These are oversized pads, so they're really, really wide. They make these much thinner, so you can get a pad for this one that's about this wide, or you can actually get a smaller pad that's much thinner. Smaller and thinner pad is typically used on the smaller upright, on the shorter upright. But there are a lot of different options on pads. They come with ones like they call a comfort stitch. There are ones that you can see that come studded, so they'll match some of the Road Kings and different things like that. So there are all kinds of options when it comes to the backrest, when it comes to making the passenger comfortable, as well as fitting the style of your bike. So again, if you're looking for something, stop in, check it out, do your research, make sure you get what you want for your bike to start out with. Along with that, on the docking hardware, the 4-point docking hardware, there's also options for luggage racks, which I think Chase is going to talk about next.
Yep, so before I do jump into luggage racks, I do want to piggyback on the backrest real quick with Dan. As far as what question, we get questions from a lot of customers, the way these mount. So when these slide onto the bikes, they actually slide into the shock post mounts and then roll down onto the docking hardware. We get a lot of customers stop in, buy a backrest, come back 40 minutes later, this doesn't fit my bike, something isn't right. Then we walk out and find they're not mounting it in the correct location. But just to answer that real quick so nobody gets some confusion there. But again, as Dan said, talking about the luggage racks. So a lot of people probably thinking a luggage rack doesn't necessarily pertain to the passenger comfort, but when you add one of these onto the bike, it is going to give you the ability to carry a little bit more luggage, which in turn is probably going to maybe make the passenger comfortable when you guys are in the hotel room, or maybe the hotel you're renting for the week, or a house you're renting for the week, or something along those lines. So if we're looking to get a luggage rack, it's going to be the most surface area and give you the ability to carry the largest bags. We're going to be talking about our king racks. So just as Dan said, this is going to slide right onto the current docking hardware that you have to requires for a backrest upright. It's going to slide right in and click right down in place. Of course, with the king rack here, as I said, it is the largest surface area, so the biggest bags that are out there, this bad boy is going to be able to hold it, and the bag's not going to be sagging off the side or anything along those lines. So for the rider who's maybe looking to get the most bang for their buck as far as what they can carry, the king rack's definitely going to be a great option for you. Again, available in chrome or black, as with most of our products these days. Now we're going to talk about our air wing luggage rack. Excuse me. So this guy here is a little bit more stylish looking, as you can tell, but the big thing with the air wing rack, aside from the fact that it's going to give you the ability to carry some more luggage, is going to be the fact that you can put an extra running light and brake light into it. So simply put a little LED light like this guy right here, is going to bolt right in place and then plug in up underneath the seat. Nice and easy access for getting it on and off the bike, of course. But it's going to give you a little bit more light on the bike, as well as the options to carry a little bit more luggage with you. Now, if we're looking kind of for the backrest for the ultimate style, of course still going to maintain the ability to run some luggage on the motorcycle, but something that the most style is going to be our stealth rack. So no different than the others, going to slide in, lock in place, but as you can tell by the look of it compared to the other two, it is a little bit more of a streamlined rack. It's kind of got the grooves to go along through it, which would slightly match with maybe the Streamliner footboards if you're really trying to do your bike up nicely. The stealth rack is a great option for you. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't also mention luggage racks for our other models as well. So of course for our Softails and our Dianas and our Sportsters, one of the simplest racks is our 5-bar round rack. So Harley offers it for all of our different models. This one right here is technically going to be for Sportsters and our narrow tire Softails. We offer it for the Fat Boy models and the breakouts with the big wide tires, our older models, a full variety of them, and we actually do offer a square bar upright to match our older Softail Heritage models that come stock with a square upright bar. But as far as luggage racks, I think we pretty well got that whipped, and I do believe Dan's going to talk to us about some tour packs.
Yeah, so one of the things that we're seeing pick up momentum, and it's really a great option for customers that have a touring bike like a Street Glide or a Road Glide, is to add a detachable tour pack. Gives you a lot of extra luggage space. You can get them color matched to the bike, and it's a great option. These are offered through Harley-Davidson, and they sell color match. One of the things to keep in mind, if you're buying a bike, especially one of the bikes that they're coming out with now that have different color schemes, is these are a lot of times are only available for a limited time to match the bike. So if this is something that you want to do, you may want to consider it while the bike is still fairly new. There are other options out there, particularly in the aftermarket. This one that we have here is from Advan Black. We use Advan Black a lot because they do color match as well, and they do a lot of the obsoleted colors that Harley doesn't offer anymore. This particular one is a King Tour Pack. It has the black hardware on it. They're offered in chrome. This is a red line red, so it fits the newer Street Glide or Road Glide. And it actually has a really neat liner in it. It has a pattern stitched liner in it that's really, really cool. You can get these for the Advan Black Tour Packs. You can get this liner to fit the Harley as well from Advan Black. And of course, Harley offers the inserts as well for the liners, and there's options for organizers that you can put in the lid that have pockets in them to organize the things that are in your tour pack. They have organizers that go on the side. There's just a lot of options for these to get you organized and carry. They have a really nice tether on them as well. Also wanted to show you the backrest pad. Now again, this is a King Tour Pack. This is one of the wraparound pads, very comfortable for the passenger, gives them a place to actually put their elbows and makes them feel very secure on the bike. There are also options for smaller pads that you can just put on the front of the tour pack to lean back against, and these are available in, again, this is a King, but they're also available in a Chop, and through some of the aftermarket vendors you can still get the Razor ones some people call them a pizza box tour pack, and that's literally about what they're good for, is carrying 2 or 3 pizzas in them. You're not going to fit helmets and things like that in them, but they do look cool on the bikes. So a lot of different options out there. Also has a detachable rack that goes with it. I grabbed one of the chrome. Again, this one's in black hardware. I just grabbed one of the chrome to show it to you, but you can put a black one on it. Also, these have a little bit of adjustment, but if you want to actually move that tour pack back a little bit, there are options to relocate it. So if you're out riding, it's hot, you want to get a little gap between you and the rider, we can actually relocate these for you to get you a couple extra inches of gap. All kinds of things to talk about. So as you can see, there are a lot of different options out there for passenger comfort. Think about what you're looking for, come in, talk to us, sit on a couple bikes, see what you like, and we'll get you fixed up. Thanks for tuning in.